Today we're not going to build, we're going to do a catalog again. Today we're going to do 1991. Yeah, a nice front, quite playful. Maybe this looks a bit like how my room used to be, quite messy. And then we have like Duplo, animals, zoo, circus, more Duplo, Lego Basic. Here the fashion gets quite interesting. Pirates, of course I should also not forget about the knights. Miniland. And then you had this entire harbor things that were introduced. A lot of cars. And of course his artist impressions back then were also really nice. More Lego City, yeah? And there was a hospital actually. Hello, this is Timo and this is another video of my project where I'm talking and building my old Lego. Today we're not going to build, we're going to do a catalog again. The last catalog we did was actually the 2025 catalog. Today we're going to do 1991. Yeah, let's just start and see what we have here. We have here, yeah, a nice front with quite obvious what this is about. Lego. I think it's a quarter of the space of the front is occupied by the logo. This was a bit like how the Lego catalogs were back then, quite playful. And maybe this looks a bit like my room, like how my room used to be, quite messy and all kind of parts and pieces mixed together. It's not the most great design. I think the 1992 Lego catalog for me has still the best front, the best cover. What I also will do is what I also did before with the other 90s Lego catalogs is that and 80s, that I have prepared a list with major news events that happened that year to give you a perspective about what time frame we are talking. Because most of the time when I see those Lego catalogs, especially when I see the sets, I don't feel they are that old. But yeah, if you hear some news events, then you think like, whoa, that's quite a long time ago. And 91 is 34 years ago. So that's already like a perspective. Let's just start and open this catalog. By the way, I also have the instructions of all the sets that I have from 1991. And those are actually, I think most of my sets, my Lego sets are from 1991. And there are specific reasons for this, which will follow later. Yes, like all those Lego catalogs from those years, they always started like with just, yeah, what is it, like a family picture, like kids of different ages. And Lego was showing you, okay, for every age we have something to offer, starting with Duplo, Lego, and then Lego Technic, of course. And yeah, and the fashion, of course, of that time is amazing. Huh? And then we have like Duplo. And yes, I think Duplo never really changed, especially not those sets for the babies, you know. There's also not a lot you can change about it. I think those sets were also available already for maybe like 10 years, I don't know. And then we go to another Duplo, more Duplo, and those boxes that were, I think all my friends, I didn't have a box like this, but all my friends had a box like this. And yeah, it's just a couple of starter sets. Okay, all new. And then there's a little girl, she took the flute and she plays for her Duplo snake to make the Duplo snake dance. Yeah, and that is I think for a lot of years Duplo was always a bit the same, like same kind of like here, animals, zoo, circus. Yeah, it was always a bit the same. And I still think I don't even know actually, but I think Duplo is still pretty the same. But I think it's not right. It's not in the same catalog anymore, right? And yeah. And there's more and more Duplo, like cars and boats, and of course trains with those black tracks. This is how I remember Duplo trains. And I never had a Duplo train. I had Duplo, but I never had a Duplo train. And strangely enough, I actually got rid of my Duplo in some time. I kept my Lego, but I got rid of Duplo, although it's the same thing. Also, it's also you can also combine it. But yeah, more Duplo. There was a lot of Duplo. Yeah, I also remember this one. This kind of apartment, which was totally open, like a dollhouse, but from all the directions. I remember this to be yellow, but I guess it was like the earlier days. And then we start with Lego Basic, and maybe it's time to mention the first major event that happened in 1991. January 16, the Gulf War started, Operation Desert Storm. I checked a bit so on Wikipedia what happened that year. And actually that war was not that long. It was only like 1.5 month, I think, as I could understand, which I totally don't remember anymore. But I remember it was a long war, but I'm maybe mixed up with the 2003 war, right? It was 2003 when there was the second Gulf War. Yeah, it started. So wars, that's always bad, but it's very difficult to select some major news events without avoiding war and death, unfortunately. Lego Basic, and there's the boxes where I was talking about before. Those boxes, yeah, they had a lot of different bricks, a lot of classical basic bricks. I don't remember this system. It was something that you could close with a base plate, I see. And here the fashion gets quite interesting. Yeah. Like everything big. There was, I think, the 90s was about one size bigger, right? In fashion. And then you have like this first Lego Basic was from 3 till 12-year-olds, and this is from 5 to 12-year-olds. So because there's some sound involved, sound and lights, and that was a bit the thing in the 90s. This 9-volt system was introduced, not only with the trains but also with the other Lego, and then you also had these sounds and these lights with fire trucks and police cars. Yeah, and that's actually an interesting car. It's like, as I can see, it's 8-stud white car, which was especially back then quite rare in Lego. Only in Model Team. The Model Team, what's it called? I think we will see it later. They also had quite bigger cars. They have all these electric parts like lights, transparent bricks. And this is, I think, still the 4.5-volt system. There was the previous system, and also like this battery back. So it was a bit like an overlap with the 9-volt system and the 4.5-volt system. And they still had this cables that were actually common in the 12-volt train system. Pirates. There we have pirates. Talking about pirates now. June 12th, Boris Yeltsin was elected as president of the SFSR. I think that's the Russian Republic that used to be the Russian Republic in the Soviet Union. But I think there was a start of the new Russia, because 91 was also for Russia a very important year. And then June 20, the Bundestag in Germany, the German parliament, voted for moving the capital from Bonn to Berlin. In the time that Germany was divided, for the people that don't know, Bonn was the capital of Western Germany, which is a smaller city close to Cologne, for the people that don't know this. Yes, pirates, that's of course always an interesting theme in LEGO. I was not so, back then, not so into this pirates. I would now actually have loved it to have sets like that for this project, also for this YouTube channel, especially those big ships, you know. I think this is a quite, I mean, I see it here in the Dutch. I mean, all the catalogs I have are in Dutch. But I don't know I don't remember the English name for this ship, but it's quite a famous set, and I think it's quite wanted, quite expensive actually when you try to find it on Bricklink. But yeah, it would be great if I could build a set like this. So maybe in the future, who knows. And Pirates was still existing in 91. Yeah. Even still new sets. Very nice. I think Pirates is, although it was not my favorite, I think it's one of the greatest teams in LEGO, besides the trains, of course. And of course, I should also not forget about the Knights. The Knights were also like something. All doesn't exist anymore, right? It's a bit like a pity. It was always placed by licensed teams like Star Wars and etc. Very nice, very nice. I think it was a bit based on Robin Hood, right? This Knights team with this forest people and everything. And it's very typically base plates, these mountainous base plates. And this very typically castle, this black castle, and the yellow castle is not inside. It's quite older than 91, but yeah, very nice. I'm thinking I have here the sets, but they are still not. They are some further in the catalog. By the way, I didn't mention it. I should have maybe. This video is in 2 parts again. I try to keep the videos shorter. I still want to include everything that I want to include. So right in the middle, I will just cut it, and then we continue the next time. July 1st, the Warsaw Pact was dissolved. That was, I think, the opposite opponent of the NATO. Let's go to the next page. And then we have, are we already in the middle? No. I mean, those LEGO catalogs back then, they were not as thick as today. The catalogs of today, which are like, I don't know, 5 times bigger or something. It's crazy. Yeah. There we have Lego City, or Miniland it was called. I don't know if it was called Miniland in every country. This is a Dutch catalog, but I don't remember this Miniland a lot. I always remember it was called City. And then you had this entire harbor things that were introduced, which was a very nice thing. And all the boats had this particular fronts that were a new design. And yeah, unfortunately I don't have this big harbor, but I have, let's see, I have this one, the Dark Shark. Again, I see only the Dutch title here, but it's the Dark Shark. It's smokkelschip in Dutch, which is already showing a bit more what kind of ship it is, because smokkel is like crossing borders with illegal stuff, right? With illegal goods. And I think Dark Shark is still a bit in the middle. It could also still be like a racing boat of two twin brothers or sisters. Yes, and then we have this also very nice set. We also did it before. We have Coastal Cutter, I think it's called in English. Very nice set. Yeah, feel free to check the video out. Yes, Lego City. And then we go to the next page. A lot of cars. Nice cars, nice design. Small sets, but very nice sets. This one I have here also. I remember I had it. Yes, there it is. I even have it twice. I don't know why, but I have it twice. Yeah. And that's the only one. I mean, I'm only having here the new sets because I also have sets there that were not new in 91. There again, we have this sound and light system. Yeah, that was nice. And there's also a lot of racing cars, and there's also a racing track, although there was also from Lego a more bigger racing stadium available. I think it was just before. And it's also one of the sets that I actually really curious about, because as a kid I also liked that set, but I didn't have it. So that's maybe one of those sets, one of the sets that I considering maybe on some point to purchase via Bricklink or something, and then build with you here. Yeah. And of course, his artist impressions back then, they were also really nice. Like this cars always a bit like flying and breaking through walls and everything. And that's of course a very nice thing. And I see him already in the middle. Let's just continue with Lego City, and then we wrap it. More Lego City, yeah. More sound and audio stuff also. Sound and light stuff. A police station. This police station looks actually still quite old, so I think it was already available for a while. You can also see it on the helmets are the old helmets. Let's say the Benny Space guy helmets. And then you also have this, this audio and this sound and light system was quite a popular thing. You had it in quite a lot of sets, and suddenly it was also gone. It was also like a thing. It was just suddenly gone. And I think for kids it's always nice, right? Light and sound. And a hospital. Yes, that's the thing with Lego. Lego just rarely had really hospitals, and there was a hospital actually, and a nice one, and maybe also something to consider to check out one time. Yeah. And there's a nice artist impression again. Some big accident, some disaster there. And, yeah, very nice, very nice. And there's even more Lego City. Let's see. Yeah, let's do this one still. From this page, I don't think I have anything. Well, I have one set, I see here. It's still the year that the airport shuttle monorail was available. I think it was still available for one more year. It was introduced in 1990 and I have it, but it was not new in 1991. So that's why it's not there. But the tracks expansion set with tracks was new that year, and I have it twice. And I say it like that because the value of especially the straight tracks and the switches is quite high. I think one straight track is 20 euros or something, or even more, 50 euros. It's crazy. Because they just discontinued it, I think in 92 or 93. So this monorail, I all the time postpone it because I want to shoot a video building that entire set, and it's a lot of work. I'm a bit nervous about it, but I want to do it anytime soon, actually. Postponing it doesn't help. It's a great set, and yes. The base plates, they were also still available. The street base plates. I always think this is the 90s base plates. The gray with the bicycle lane already included. Before you only had base plates without the bicycle lane, just with the green lines. And these ones, they became green later on some point. Of course, the street stayed gray. I think it was like a dual mold then, of course. Traffic signs, of course, always nice to have that. Trees. A set of very random minifigures. Back then it was just minifigures, but now you have this entire people that are collecting all kind of different minifigures. Very expensive ones, very valuable ones. But back then it was just like, they were just quite simple. And that's actually the way I liked it, you know. They were actually just very simple, and that's it, yeah. And the next page is my favorite one, but we will save it for the next part, the second part of this Lego catalog video, of the Lego catalog of 1991. And yeah, the first part. Next time more of major news events of 1991. More of the sets that I have here still laying around. The best part is coming. Lego trains, for example. That's one of the major things that I really liked and like still actually about Lego. I hope you liked this video. Please subscribe to my channel. That's very important for my channel to grow. You can also leave a comment in the comment section. I always appreciate that. Yes. See you soon in the next video, and wish you a wonderful day. Goodbye.